kindergartners! I hope you're enjoying the weather right now as much as I am. Our lesson today is going to look on at exactly what's happening outside, and we're going to do a little experiment to kind of talk about how water vapor plays a part and exactly why we're getting rain right now. I've got a great book to read with you today. What will the weather be? We won't be able to finish it all in this lesson, but we're going to start it. Are you ready to jump in? 1, 2, 3, let's go! And poof, okay, we're ready to read What Will the Weather Be? By Linda DeWitt, illustrated by Carolyn Kroll. What will the weather be? The sky was gray and cloudy over Washington, D.C. on the morning of March 9th, 1999. The weather forecast called for an inch or two of snow. But by noon, there was so much snow on the ground that many cars and buses were stuck in it. The airports had to close down. So did the schools. In all, 8 inches of snow fell on the city. The weather forecast was wrong, and people were not prepared for the huge storm. Weather forecasts tell us what kind of weather is coming, but predicting the weather is hard to do. It's easy to see what the weather is like right now. You could go outside and look. Is the air warm or cold? Is it windy or still? Is the sky clear or is it covered with dark clouds? Whatever the weather is like, it often stays that way for days at a time. This is the important part for us to think about right now. But then something happens. The wind begins to blow. Air from somewhere else moves in. So here's the new air, and this part where you see the air bending is called a front. Sometimes it's cooler in the north, sometimes it's warmer air from the south. The new air pushes against the old air. The place where this happens is called a front. Most changes in weather occurs along fronts, and that's what we're experiencing right now. Some new air has come in, and the old air, which was a different temperature, they've created a weather front. Let's keep looking. Where cold air pushes against warm air, we say there's a cold front. Cold fronts move in fast. They can make the wind howl. Did you hear the wind last night? Oh my gosh, it was loud. They quickly push warm air up and out of the way. But the rising warm air carries water. This water is not a liquid. It is a gas called water vapor. As the air rises, it cools, and the water vapor turns back into liquid. High in the sky, the drops of liquid water clump together and make clouds. So here in this picture, you can see the cold fronts coming. That's pushing that warm air up, and that liquid or the gas of air is coming up into the clouds where it's getting cold and forming back into liquid. The clouds glow dark as more air rises. Then it rains. It may be thunder and lightning. If it's cold enough, snow falls. It all happens very fast. Cold fronts cause sudden storms, but they usually do not last long. After a cold front passes, the sky clears and the weather is cooler. All right, I'm going to take you guys outside so we can look at the weather as it's happening right now in my backyard. Hey, Kinders, we're in my backyard right now. You can even see Greta's little police car. What I'm seeing in the clouds, though, is those water droplets starting to form in the clouds. Can you see that the ones behind me are dark? That's because it is becoming thick with liquid water, and the water is going to fall from the sky soon. I can also feel that the air is colder than it normally is. I actually kind of need a jacket outside. In fact, I'm even starting to feel the water droplets fall on me. I hope that you sometimes get to play in the rain too. Wouldn't it be amazing if we could watch the whole water process happen right in front of us, to see the water droplets come from the earth as that cold air pushes it up and then go up to the clouds, or where the warm air pushes it up, and then when it gets to the cloud, it gets so cold it turns back into water and falls? Well, guess what? I have just the experiment to have us do that, and we're going to go back inside so we can do it right now. All you need to grab is a Ziploc bag and some water. Okay, Kinders, we're back inside. I've got my Ziploc bag. I'm going to be filling it with water in just a minute, but I decided on my bag I was going to draw you a little scientific illustration. By the way, you will also need some tape, unless your mom says you're not allowed to tape things to the windows in your house. In that case, you might have to ask her for like a ribbon or something to tie it to a doorknob. Okay, anyway, I'm going to draw the ground, and I'm going to draw a puddle that's in the ground. Most of the water that we get evaporated or that goes up to the sky in our desert in Tucson largely comes from when we have big rainfalls or from water stuck in the ground. We don't have a huge body of water nearby that isn't man-made. All right, and up here, I'm going to draw a cloud. You're going to be amazed, but today when we put the water inside this bag, you're going to actually be able to observe it throughout the day as it travels up into the cloud, and then you're going to be able to see water droplets as it travels back down. After you guys make this, we're going to stick it on the window, I'll take a picture, and then I'm going to tell you how you're going to make your observations. Okay, Kinders, I got my bag all set up. And so what we're going to be seeing as the day goes on, we're going to be not really seeing this part, but the water's droplets are going to turn into a gas, and it's going to travel up to the top of your bag where you drew the cloud. We're going to eventually see it as it cools down up there. The water is going to go back down the bag, and you'll see it in droplets coming back down to rejoin the other heavy water droplets. Good scientists always make note of what they observe. So I had an idea. I didn't really have a lot of time to think about how this experiment would go into this journal, but there is a back page. What I want you guys to do is to draw a line through the back page. I want you to either draw or take a picture and glue it here, or just take a picture and put it on Seesaw of what you see in the beginning part of the day. Write about it here. And then show me what you see later in the day. I'll stick an example on at the end of this video. And then you can post it on Seesaw. Remember, this is supposed to be fun because it's science, and science is always fun. So make sure that you do this when you're not feeling stressed out, or when mom and dad have enough time to help you out. Okay, guys? I hope that you guys have a wonderful time observing how that water gets up into that rain cloud.